Hello, my dear ones. I am so delighted to be with you, and I want to remind you right from the beginning, real power is never about controlling what others say or do. Real power is always about how you choose to meet life within yourself. There is such an important difference between reaction and response. A reaction is quick, unconscious, and often comes from old wounds. A response is calm, conscious, and comes from peace. A reaction is like a spark that lights a fire you never wanted, while a response is like a gentle breeze that cools the flame and brings clarity. Can you feel the difference? One takes your energy away, the other gives your energy back to you. So many of us have lived our lives on autopilot, reacting to everything around us. Someone raises their voice, and we raise ours. Someone ignores us, and we shrink. Someone criticizes us, and we defend. And we think we have no choice. But my loves, we do have a choice. At every moment we can pause. At every moment we can breathe. At every moment we can choose peace over panic. I want you to remember this. You are not powerless before your emotions. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and you can choose again. Even if you have spent years reacting, you can begin today to respond differently. Even if your habit has been anger, you can teach yourself peace. Even if fear has always rushed in first, you can invite love to enter instead. Let's pause here. Place your hand gently on your heart. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, whisper inside, I am safe. I choose peace. I respond with love. Feel how your body softens just with those words. That is the beginning of inner peace. Reaction comes from fear. Response comes from love. Reaction is the echo of the past. Response is the creation of a new present. Reaction contracts your heart. Response expands your spirit. Which one do you wish to live in? Which one do you want to practice? I want you to know, choosing not to react does not mean being weak. It does not mean being passive. It does not mean letting others walk all over you. It means you are so strong inside, so centered, that you no longer give away your power to every passing wind. To respond instead of react is the highest form of self-respect. So as we begin, let us hold this affirmation together. I am in charge of my peace. I do not need to react. I choose to respond with wisdom, calm, and love. All right, let me ask you something, my dear ones. Have you ever wondered why such a small thing can make you feel so upset, so shaken, so out of balance? Someone says a little word, someone forgets to call, someone looks at you in a certain way, and suddenly you feel like you're falling apart inside. You see, the truth is, it's rarely about the small thing happening now. It is almost always about the old wound it touches. When we react strongly, it's because a present moment has brushed against a past pain. That is why a light touch can feel like a heavy blow. That is why a little moment can feel like a giant storm. Many of our reactions come from childhood wounds that were never fully healed. Perhaps you grew up feeling abandoned, so when someone cancels a plan, the pain is not about the plan. It is about the old memory of being left behind. Perhaps you were judged harshly, so when someone criticizes you, the sting is not only about their words, it is about the echo of every voice that told you you weren't enough. Perhaps you were taught that love had to be earned, so when someone disapproves, you feel unworthy again. These wounds live inside us until we bring them into the light, and every reaction is an invitation to ask, why does this small situation touch such a big pain inside me? I want you to know, your emotions are messengers, not enemies. They are pointing you back to the places in you that are still waiting to be loved, still waiting to be seen, still waiting to be healed. When you notice yourself reacting, instead of punishing yourself, be curious. Instead of saying, "What's wrong with me?" try saying, "What is this feeling teaching me?" That simple shift can change everything. Now let's talk about the ways we tend to react. Some of us explode in anger. We shout, we slam, we push others away, because deep down we are trying to protect the tender part of ourselves that feels unsafe. Some of us retreat into silence. We withdraw, we shut down, we hide because we believe disappearing is safer than being seen. Some of us please and please, bending over backwards to avoid conflict, saying yes when our heart says no, because we think love will leave if we don't keep everyone happy. And some of us blame the people around us, blame life, blame the world, because it feels easier than facing the hurt within. Do you see yourself in one of these patterns? Or maybe in all of them at different times? There is no shame in recognizing them. Awareness is the first step to change. You cannot heal what you cannot see. You cannot release what you refuse to acknowledge. And so, when you notice, "Yes, I am the one who withdraws," or "Yes, I am the one who pleases," you are already beginning to open the door to freedom. And let us be gentle here, because each of these patterns began as a way to survive. Anger was a shield. Silence was a shelter. Pleasing was a way to keep love. Blame was a way to push pain away. None of these make you bad. None of these mean you are broken. They mean you found a way to endure. But my loves, surviving is not the same as living. Protecting is not the same as healing. Reacting is not the same as choosing. And you are ready now for something more. So how do we move from reaction to response? By noticing, by pausing, by asking ourselves, what is really happening here? Is it about this person, this moment, or is it about something older, something deeper, something inside me? And when you find the answer, meet it with love. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I hear you. I see you. I will not abandon you." That is the medicine your inner child has been waiting for. You do not have to be at war with yourself. You do not have to keep carrying old pain into new moments. You can choose to bring light into the dark corners of your heart. You can choose to bless the child within you with kindness instead of judgment. And every time you do, the grip of reaction loosens and the space for peace expands. Think about this. If your best friend came to you crying, would you scream at her? Would you punish her? Of course not. You would hold her. You would soothe her. You would remind her she is loved. Why not do the same with yourself? The parts of you that react are simply parts of you that are crying out for love. They don't need rejection. They need acceptance. They don't need punishment. They need presence. They don't need fear. They need compassion. So, let us affirm together now. I am willing to look within. I am willing to see my old wounds with love. I am willing to meet my reactions with compassion. And I am willing to change. Take a deep breath, my dear ones, and let that truth sink in. You are not defined by your reactions. You are not trapped in your patterns. You are a magnificent being, learning, growing, healing. And as you bring light to your wounds, as you notice your old defaults, you reclaim your freedom. You begin to see that you have never been too broken. You have only been waiting to remember your wholeness. So the next time you feel the fire of anger, the chill of silence, the pull to please or the urge to blame, pause and remember, this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of awareness. This is the opening to healing. And in that awareness, you can choose again. Life loves you. Life supports you. You are safe. You are healing. You are whole. All right, my dear ones, let me tease you a little. Have you noticed how some of us think we have to send an emotional telegram right away, the very second we feel something? As if life will fall apart if we don't react this instant. We get an email and rush to answer with fire. We hear a tone in someone's voice and already our heart is racing, our mind is spinning, our words are loading like arrows. And then later, we wonder, why did I say that? Why did I make it worse? You see, this is the trap of reaction. The idea that urgency is always required. But I want you to hear me. Nothing in life demands your emotional reaction right away. Nothing. The power of not reacting immediately is one of the greatest gifts you can ever give yourself. When you do not react right away, you give yourself the space to breathe, the space to settle, the space to connect with your own wisdom. And it is in that space that peace is born. Think of it like this. Your emotions rise up like waves. If you try to respond while the wave is crashing, you will only be pulled under. But if you wait, if you breathe, the wave passes and the water calms. Then you can see clearly, then you can choose wisely. When you don't react, you are not suppressing, you are allowing. You are letting the emotion have space to exist, but you are not letting it drive the car of your life. That is freedom. That is mastery. That is love. You are saying to yourself, I feel this, and it is valid, but I will not let this feeling decide for me. I will let my wisdom decide. Think of a lake on a windy day. The surface ripples, the water shakes, and you cannot see what lies beneath. But when the wind settles, when the water is still, the lake becomes a mirror. It reflects the sky. It shows you what was hidden. In the same way, when you stop the habit of reacting instantly, you allow the surface of your mind to settle, and then the truth reveals itself. You realize it wasn't about the words they said. It was about your old fear. You realize it wasn't about the traffic. It was about your impatience with yourself. You realize it wasn't about them at all. It was about what was waiting to be healed in you. Let me say this clearly. Every emotion is welcome, but not every emotion needs a reaction. You can feel anger without lashing out. You can feel sadness without drowning in despair. You can feel fear without running away. You can sit with the feeling, breathe with it, even talk to it. Hello, anger. I see you. Thank you for showing me what hurts. And then you choose what to do next. That, my loves, is living consciously. That is turning emotion into meditation. Yes, I said meditation. You don't need to sit on a cushion with incense to meditate. Every pause before reaction is a meditation. Every deep breath instead of a quick word is a meditation. Every choice to sit with your feeling instead of attacking someone else is a meditation. Feeling your emotions without needing to act on them right away is meditation in daily life. And you can do this anywhere, at any time. Let's practice together. Bring to mind a moment that upset you recently. Maybe it was small. Someone cut in line, someone ignored your message. Feel the feeling that rises, anger, irritation, sadness. Now, instead of pushing it away or acting it out, simply notice it. Place your hand on your heart and breathe. Say to yourself, I am safe. I can feel this without reacting. I allow the feeling to pass through me like a cloud in the sky. Do you notice how the intensity softens when you allow it? That is your power. That is the calm lake inside you. And here's something important. Not reacting immediately does not mean you do nothing. It does not mean you become passive. It means you are choosing the right time, the right words, the right energy to respond. A conscious response is always more powerful than a rushed reaction. Think about the times in your life when you regretted what you said. Almost always, it was because you reacted too quickly. And think about the times you handled something with grace. Almost always it was because you paused, you breathed, you waited until you were clear. So let us bless the pause. Let us bless the gap between stimulus and response. That gap is your freedom. That gap is your peace. That gap is where you step out of the old pattern and into a new way of being. And remember, my dear ones, you are not a robot programmed to react. You are a magnificent conscious being with the ability to choose. You do not have to live on autopilot anymore. You can choose patience over panic, silence over shouting, love over fear. You can choose, and the more you practice, the easier it becomes. So the next time someone presses your button, instead of firing back, try this. Smile gently to yourself and say inside, "Isn't it interesting? Look at my old wound being touched again." That little moment of awareness is enough to stop the cycle. That little moment of humor, of curiosity, is enough to bring in the light. Let's affirm together. I do not need to react immediately. I create space for peace. I allow my emotions, but I'm not ruled by them. I'm calm. I am wise. I am free. Take a deep breath. Let those words enter your heart. Feel the quiet strength they bring. This is your gift to yourself. The power of not reacting right away. The power of being the calm lake, the open sky, the gentle presence. And as you live this way, you will notice something extraordinary. Life becomes softer, relationships become easier, and peace becomes your natural state. Because, my dear ones, life loves you, life supports you, and when you choose not to react instantly, you open the door to grace. Now that you see the beauty of pausing and the freedom of not reacting, let's bring it closer to everyday life, because awareness without practice is like a seed never planted. You may understand the idea, but if you don't practice, it cannot grow roots inside you. So let me give you 5 gentle skills, simple enough to try today, powerful enough to transform your tomorrow. The first is creating your pause button. Most of us have a play button that never stops. We feel something and instantly act it out. But what if you could press pause instead? That tiny pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is a space where you take one slow breath, maybe 2, maybe 3. With every inhale, your body remembers safety. With every exhale, your mind finds clarity. Say softly inside, "I give myself permission to stop before I answer." That sentence alone can save you hours of regret. A pause is not empty. A pause is full of power. The second is learning to observe emotions. You are not your anger, just as the sky is not the storm. Anger is a cloud. Fear is a cloud. Sadness is a cloud. They come, they pass. You remain. So when you feel something rise, instead of saying, "I am angry," try saying, "Anger is visiting me." Feel the difference? One locks you in, the other sets you free. This is the art of stepping back, watching without drowning, noticing without judging. Observation turns the storm into scenery. The third practice is asking healing questions. Not judgment, not blame, just curiosity with love. Is this reaction truly about what is happening now? Or is it echoing an old memory? What do I truly need in this moment? Safety, love, or recognition. When you ask this way, you open a door. Maybe you realize your tears today are the voice of a child who once felt unseen. Maybe your anger now is the echo of a time you felt powerless. And in that discovery, healing begins. Because when you name your true need, you can meet it. You can whisper, "I am safe," or "I am worthy of love," or "I see myself, I honor my feelings." The question itself is medicine, and the answer is always love. The fourth is setting healthy boundaries. Please hear this clearly. Not reacting does not mean tolerating what hurts you. It does not mean keeping silent in the face of cruelty. It does not mean abandoning yourself for peace. Silence without self-respect is suppression. Silence with clarity is strength. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is say no. A gentle no, a clear no, a no that protects your peace. No, I will not accept being spoken to that way. No, I will not trade my joy for your approval. No, I will not betray myself to make you comfortable. Each no, born from love, is also a yes to your own well-being, and you are worthy of that yes. The fifth is responding with consciousness. This is where all the other practices lead, to a response that is clear, kind, and true. You can speak your feelings without throwing them like stones. For example, instead of saying, "You always make me so angry," you might say, "I feel hurt when this happens." The first sentence attacks, the second reveals. One builds walls, the other builds bridges. Which do you want more of in your life, walls or bridges? A conscious response is not about being nice. It is about being real without losing love. Let us gather them together. Pause and breathe. Observe your emotions. Ask the deeper question. Set the boundary that honors your soul. Respond with words that bring connection instead of conflict. 5 steps. Simple to name, powerful to live. Now close your eyes for a moment. Bring to mind a situation that often triggers you. See it clearly. Feel the reaction start to rise. And now, practice. Press pause. Breathe slowly. Observe, here is anger, here is fear. Ask yourself, where is this really coming from? What do I need right now? Sense the boundary. What is the loving no I must hold? And now form the response. Calm, clear, kind. Do you feel how different this is? This is freedom. This is peace. This is you choosing differently. Remember, your life is not shaped by the storm, but by the way you learn to sail. Your peace is not decided by the world outside, but by the choices you make inside. And each time you practice these 5 skills, you are sailing more skillfully, you are choosing more lovingly, you are living more freely. Let us affirm together. I pause before I act. I watch my emotions with love. I ask myself healing questions. I honor my boundaries. I respond with clarity and kindness. Life supports me. I am safe. I am free. Take a deep breath and let these words rest inside you. They are not just words, they are seeds. And with every practice, every pause, every conscious response, you are watering them. Soon you will look back and realize that what once felt impossible is now natural. What once felt heavy is now light. Because, my dear ones, life has always loved you. And when you choose to practice peace, you finally begin to love yourself in the very same way. I want to share something personal with you, my dear ones. For many years, I carried the weight of my childhood like a heavy stone. I reacted quickly. I defended myself fiercely because somewhere deep inside I still felt unsafe. A look, a word, a gesture, it could send me back to the frightened little girl who thought she had to fight for love. And it wasn't until I learned to forgive the past, to release the grip of old pain, that I began to respond instead of react. Forgiveness does not mean approving of what happened. Forgiveness means choosing not to carry the poison any longer. When you forgive, you set yourself free. This is the heart of healing, to stop dragging yesterday into today. If you hold resentment, every new moment gets colored by the old wound. If you cling to anger, every new face starts to look like the old enemy. But when you forgive, when you release, when you bless and let go, you create space for peace to enter. And you can tell yourself softly, I no longer need to react to protect myself. I am safe now. Those words are like a balm to the soul. Some of you may feel resistance here. But Louise, you don't know what they did. You don't know how deep it hurt. And you are right, I don't know every story. But I know this. Holding on keeps you in prison. Letting go sets you free. Forgiveness is not about them. It is about you. It is about your heart, your health, your peace. It is about not allowing the past to decide your present any longer. One of the most powerful tools I discovered for healing is mirror work. Yes, I know it can feel strange at first. Standing in front of your own reflection, looking into your eyes, speaking words of love, it can stir up old voices that say, you don't deserve it. But that is precisely why it is so powerful. When you face yourself with love, you are rewriting the old story. You are telling the child inside you, I see you, I love you, you are safe with me. So tonight, or tomorrow morning, or whenever you feel ready, stand in front of the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Not at your hair, not at the lines on your skin, but into your eyes, the windows of your soul, and whisper, I love you. I am safe being myself. At first you may want to look away. At first the words may catch in your throat. That is all right. Stay, breathe, keep going. Because every time you do this, you are dissolving the old belief that you had to fight, or hide, or please in order to be loved. You are planting a new belief that love begins with you, and that safety is already here. When you forgive, you loosen the chains. When you love yourself, you heal the wound. When you affirm your safety, you end the war inside. This is what it means to heal the root. Without healing, we keep trimming branches, but the tree of pain keeps growing back. With healing, the roots of fear dissolve, and the tree of peace begins to bloom. Let us affirm together now. I forgive the past. I release the pain. I no longer need to react to protect myself. I am safe. I love myself exactly as I am. My dear ones, transformation is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a rhythm, a gentle return each day to the truth of who you are. We cannot wait until a storm comes to learn how to swim. We practice in calm water so that when the storm arrives, we are ready. And in the same way, you build your strength for peaceful response by practicing small, daily habits. One of the most powerful habits is a short meditation in the morning. Just 5 or 10 minutes of breathing consciously, sitting in stillness, is enough to remind your nervous system that you are safe. Close your eyes, inhale slowly, exhale gently, and whisper, I am here, I am calm, I am safe. This simple practice sets the tone for your day. Meditation is not about stopping thoughts. It is about remembering that you are more than your thoughts, and each breath is a doorway back to that remembrance. Another habit is keeping an emotional journal. Instead of throwing your feelings at someone else, you give them a page to land on. Write without judgment, without censorship. I felt angry when this happened. I felt small when she said that. I felt fear when I thought of tomorrow. You will be amazed how writing brings clarity. It is safer to put the fire on paper than to burn down your relationships. Journaling is self-respect in action. It tells your inner self, I will listen to you, I will honor you, I will not ignore you. And of course, affirmations. Words have power. Every thought you think is an affirmation, so why not choose words that support you? Each morning and each night, say to yourself, I have the right to choose my response. I am calm, I am safe, I choose love. At first it may feel mechanical, but with repetition, the words sink deep and they become your new truth. Then when a trigger comes, these phrases rise up like anchors, holding you steady. So let's weave them together. 5 minutes of meditation, a page of journaling, a handful of affirmations. Not heavy, not complicated, simple, gentle, consistent. And with every day you practice, the gap between reaction and response widens. You feel freer, you feel safer, you feel more at home in your own skin. And now, let me remind you of this truth, clear and strong. You are not a slave to your emotions. You are the observer. You are the chooser. You are the one who decides. When you learn not to react, you preserve your inner peace. You become the leader of your own life, not the follower of old habits. You stop being dragged by the chaos outside, and instead you stand steady, calm, and free. From this space, you attract healthier relationships, kinder experiences, more loving connections, because life always mirrors your inner world. When you radiate peace, peace returns to you. So take this with you. You are not powerless. You have choice. You have strength. You have love. Every pause is victory. Every breath is freedom. Every conscious response is healing. Let us affirm one final time together. I am not my reactions. I am the one who chooses. I keep my peace. I live with love. Life loves me, and all is well in my world. Breathe deeply, my dear ones, and let your heart rest in this truth. You are free. You are safe. You are loved. And the more you practice, the more you will discover peace was never outside. It has always been within you.